All right, well, Bitcoin getting a little bit more random here after our failed drop from last week, popping up, looking for some nice stable action over the weekend. Kind of got it, kind of didn't, and yesterday with a bit of topping action. Let's look at the daily a little bit closer. Welcome to Altcoin Buzz Trading. I'm Randy. We'll be looking at our continuing trade with ICP, also Render and Near Protocol, as they are our top two movers today in the top 50. So take a uh, wait for that, whatever I want to say. Hang out in the video for 5 minutes. Let's do some charting. All right, maybe we'll say that. That's kind of fun. Um, Bitcoin here. So we did try to rally yesterday. Doing the video, we were here yesterday, and we said, let's see if we can find a bottom. We did see a doji candle here, intermediate volume, really wasn't high, really wasn't low, and since then it's just been really anemic action. Bitcoin looking okay, volume trending upward on my volume aggregation tool does show some good accumulation, but really nothing blowing us out of the water. That being said, this is so far a pretty good low. If you're looking for long positions, you could try to take a flyer here with a pretty tight stop loss, say 1.6, 1.75%, something like that. Give yourself a little bit of room underneath that stalling candle. But the bad part to that is it's a more strong top than it is a bottom, and this is a stronger bottom than this is a top. So we're really in a choppy environment right now. There's nothing that's necessarily egregiously bullish or egregiously bearish at the moment. Okay, volumes are declining on all time frames. Two hour time frame. This is obviously lower than this volume. Daily time frame. This low is lower volume than these volumes over here on the breakout, and obviously this volume yesterday much lower than that volume. So once again, we're floundering around. There's really no certainty here with what's going to happen with price action or chart patterns. There just isn't. And even our moving averages are still negative. Our white 10-day here is underneath the orange 21-day, which is underneath the purple 50-day. So our moving averages are inverted. Our volumes are floppy, flippy floppy. Our price is flippy floppy. There's no discernible edge here at the moment for a high probability trade. There just isn't. So you can have opinions on which way you think it's going to go. I think we'll probably try to pop up a little bit, but we'll see that. We'll see how strong this 50-day moving average is, because if you look at, that's right where we stalled yesterday, actually, right at that 50-day moving average, just like we did here. And we had no momentum and rolled over in lower volume, which is good, put in kind of a higher volume bottom, although a good amount of volume came in here. But this is where most of the volume came in, and then on the way up. So there was some underlying buying pressure. It's just not necessarily here in the moment. All right, let's take a look at ICP, our continuing trade for a large head and shoulders pattern. Um, so this is kind of the trade. Enter up here at the 1478, and then stop up there at the 1030. So I think we put this trade on Monday, April 22nd or the 23rd. I don't remember off the top of my head. I guess you could look for that video where we go a little bit more in depth on this one. But it's looking good. And yesterday looking really good for this potential for this thing to work out. So here you have an inverted hammer candle. This closed on higher volume. That's actually a pocket pivot. It's a high volume signature that indicates excess, in this case, distribution. The green are excess accumulation. Okay, so here's a green one. Here's a red one. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means if you're in this short, you withstood a test, and the short's still good. So ICP looking good, still in this trade. All right, next, Render, we'll take a look at these top tokens. Render has, actually didn't even look at these at all before the video. Boom, trend line break right there. And pretty good volume accumulation here on the 2-hour time frame, actually. Render looking good. Render looking good. It is extended right now, however. I don't think you really want to be buying at the moment. Trendline break, you're up, yeah, 21%. You can't buy up 21% on pretty much anything. It's really not a good way to go. You could, on the lower time frames, you maybe could have tried to take that as a potential entry point. And ideally, you want to buy less than 5% from a good entry point. This is not a good entry point, but it could suffice if you were right on top of it. But this has just been a straight up shot from the bottom, so we'll get a consolidation at some point. Render looking really bullish. I haven't seen this token in a while. It's not one I follow regularly. And then Near Protocol, one I do see quite often. We are playing with the trend line here. And we did just see some distribution earlier in the morning. But so far, the lows have been higher and things have been looking good for Near Protocol. So I'm not really that concerned about this one candle, especially the way it's behaving afterwards. But You get up here again and it starts double topping, you know there's some clear resistance there. And in a choppy market like this, it's hard to know uh, exactly which coins to hold and which coins not to hold because there's a lot of options. But this is a better one right now. It's been holding up against this trend line while others have been living lower. So here's a flag. This one's popped up. Others have really popped down. They haven't broken down, but they're living around here. They're not up above some of this other resistance that they've had here on the further in the left in early April here. So yeah, looking pretty good. Not really ready to jump on board yet. We need to deal with this candle and see if we can avoid that distribution. But that being said, if you can find a good stop loss or really like this token and don't mind holding for a while, get about a 5% stop loss under today's low. And since that's after this distribution, that can imply that that is an important support point. Could imply. Volume doesn't necessarily support that, but that's kind of the prevailing theory, at least for me, when you look at things like this. How do we handle this high? What is the low afterwards? And what is the price action afterwards? Bullish? Bearish? Does it look like a consolidation? Hard to say. So I don't think anything really to buy at the moment, but gets a little more bullish. I think you could consider it, especially if it starts taking out that high, just under that $8 level. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you today. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow on Altcoin Buzz Trading.